Building and Applications. This is Bucks County Community College, and I am John Summers. We're looking at an analogy that relates the building of a structure to the building of an application. And you can see in this diagram that there are outer layers and there are inner layers. And when we're building applications, we encounter some of the same challenges that are encountered when building structures, physical structures, such as houses and other sorts of buildings. And the functionality of the applications that we build reside at different layers in this diagram. So although this diagram appears to depict a house, it isn't difficult to think of this diagram as depicting an application that's built using a language, computer language such as Java or C++, or really any language that we have at our disposal. So at the outer layer, the foundation, we have the site, and the site can be thought of as the nexus between software and hardware. And this is not clear-cut in most environments due to things like hardware and operating system virtualization, web services, and cloud computing. And the site is the basis for the rest of the application. And without the site, it's not possible to build the application. Then, at the second outermost layer in an application, we have the structure. And this layer configures how the application is accessed. And much of the configuration is implicit, and the configuration defines the application in context of network and operating system. And the question is this application available online? Or are we perhaps talking about an app that runs only locally? And the other thing to bear in mind is that network and security considerations also arise here if the app is available online. And then we have the skin, and the skin consists of an application's interfaces. We have reusable components that can comprise an interface, and these reusable components are sometimes called widgets, and the application typically draws upon external libraries. So the skin relies upon services, which come next to a great extent. Services. A network protocol can be thought of as a service. A web server is a service. A database server is a service. An operating system may also be thought of as a service. And most programming languages come with various frameworks and libraries. And these are collections of reliable components that may be drawn upon when making service configurations. Then we have the space plan. Databases are utilized to organize data required by the application, and the operating system has implicit characteristics that can help organize the application. Metadata, defined using a declarative language such as extensible markup language or XML, may also make the data or stuff easier to organize. And metadata is simply data about data. Then we have stuff, and this aspect of the application is comprised of the data the application utilizes, and data are continually being added, updated, and deleted. And without stuff, the application would be inert. So building an application begins with considering the dimensions of the underlying data. Modifying an application requires determining where the application should be edited and how the edit affects other layers. Software development may be improved by thinking about software design and implementation as the design of physical structures. Just as buildings evolve over time, so do applications. It is imperative that software be built so that future modifications do not require extensive edits to other aspects of the application. And we have a single resource here. This is a book by Stuart Brand called How Buildings Learn What Happens After They're Built, and this was published in 2012. While this book is not required reading for this class, I highly recommend taking a look at this book because it is highly relevant in the field of computer hardware and software. Pave the path, pave where the path is. An oft-told story, perhaps apocryphal, tells how a brilliantly lazy college planner built a new campus with no paths built at all. She waited for the first winter and photographed where people made paths in the snow between buildings. Next spring, that's where the paving went. Some design is better if it is postponed. Stuart Brand.